What's up YouTube? Today I'm going to match for you against SoFlyForAWhiteGuy. His link will be in the description. I am Jay, also known as ProPokePlayer. My link will be in the description as well, so make sure you check out after the battle if you do enjoy the video. Anyway, I just want to say now, can you leave a like or dislike at the end of the video? Likes, it's easier to tell what I'm doing right than what I'm doing wrong, so if you are one of the people that dislike, please leave a reason in the comments or whatever. So anyway, I've got a UU team, he's got an OU team, no sandstorm or drizzle, so it should be fun. So he leads off with Togekiss. I've got my max speed Celebi. I'm just going to set up my rocks, and luckily I don't get flinched on the air slash. However, I know he is scarfed now since he outsped me, so I'm going to switch out into my Lotic because it's my special wall, as he double switches to Fortress, predicting my switch, possibly not predicting my Milotic, but it's still a reasonably good matchup for me. I don't want him getting up all his hazards, so I decide to just keep attacking it with the Scolds as he sets up his rocks, and I'm trying to kill him before he either gets Toxic Spikes or Rapid Spins away my rocks, and I do luckily get that crit I needed, and I do take him out as he only has his Stealth Rocks up, which is good for me. Anyway, he goes into Dragonite now, definitely not expecting my Ice Beam, because most of them do tend to run Dragon Tail at this point in the metagame. But I do have the Ice Beam. I take him out in one hit. He told me he was adamant, and that is a Choice Banded Outrage, and as I said, this was especially defensive Milotic, so that's a reason for me thinking Milotic should be OU rather than UU, or at least BL. Anyway, after he revenge kills me with Togekiss, I go into my Flygon. Obviously I can switch because of Stealth Rocks. Unfortunately I'm going to miss my Stone Edge, and I do hit it the second time. However, I take him out, but I do take a massive hit from Air Slash. He goes back into a Vaporeon. Obviously he's going to be physically defensive, so I am going to switch out. I decided to go into my Celebi, yeah, I was predicting the Scald possibly, or the Surf. I come in on Toxic, that's okay too. I mean, I have Natural Cure, but I don't have Recover since this is a lead Celebi, but it is good to have him alive. So I decide to predict the switch into Chandler. I go for the Toxic. He could have gone to Scissor, but this is okay too. I mean, Seed Bomb wouldn't have done anything to Scissor anyway, so there was no point going for it. So now I just stay in to see if he's Scarfed or Specs. It turns out he's Specs, probably because he already has the Scarfer, being Togekiss, on his team. He takes me out with the Flamethrower. That is okay, because I have lots of guys who can come in and revenge kill. I decide to go into my Zoroark, and I just take him out with the Dark Pulse, knowing he doesn't really have a safe switch at this point. He's got his Scissor and his Vaporeon. He goes into a Scissor now, and I'm predicting him to U-turn, predicting my switch to take the Bullet Punch. But he just goes for it, and I was kind of hoping I could live, but since he's banded, not leftovers, Sword Stance, he does take me out in one hit. I do go into my max defense Cobalion, knowing I can take anything with the Steel typing to resist it. So I'm going to predict his fairly obvious switch into Vaporeon. I'm going to go for the Toxic. That is really good, because none of my guys can do too much to him. Like, he could Wish Stall most of my guys, but with the Toxic, the Sacred Sword, plus the Toxic damage is going to build up. So he just goes for the Surf, and now I'm predicting him to go for the Wish, predicting either another Sacred Sword or my switch. But I'm going to switch into my Azelf, predicting that Wish, as he actually just goes for another Surf, which is really unfortunate because it means he will be able to 2-hit KO me. Not before I get a hit off, but it would have been nice if he went for the Wish. Here I was very close to clicking Flamethrower, predicting his switch into Scissor to take the Psychic. Luckily I don't, and that pays off, because coupled with the Toxic, that is going to finish off the Vaporeon. He does take me out with the Surf, but I do have other things at this point for his Scissor. And here I'm going to go into my Cobalion. I'm going to slow it down a bit. The reason I go into this guy first is because if he has the superpower, then I will need the defense drop, and for my Flygon to finish him off. And if I go into my Flygon first, before the defense drop, the Sacred Sword won't be boosted, because the mechanics of Sacred Sword don't take into account defense drops. So although that just looks like a random switch, there was some reasoning behind that. Anyway, he takes me out with the superpower. Luckily, he didn't have the brute break, because I'm not sure what the outcome would have been there. Not sure whether I could have lived one, being I think it's base 130 defense and max defense. So I go into my Flygon now, and I did the calcs at -1, and Earthquake should do about 210 damage minimum. So obviously, Scissor can't live that under half health. So that was the game. Comment, like, sub. Make sure you do leave a like or dislike, and a reason for either one really in the comments. So yeah, comment, like, sub, and peace.